So, Dos, could you please sum up your thoughts on that game today?
Yeah, I just said to the players in there, bitterly disappointed on a bitterly cold evening. Very, felt like a Hampshire Senior Cup game. Obviously, a huge lack of atmosphere and crowd from that turned up here tonight. To see a team that, we gave away one chance in the first half on the counter and they scored. We then give up a second goal on the counter and they scored. We get ourselves back in it. 22 minutes to go. There's no doubt in my mind that we would have got back in it. The amount of chances we were creating second half, I think there was 7. And we committed football suicide by conceding a third goal within a minute of getting ourselves back in it. So hugely disappointed. The players will be hugely disappointed because we've missed an opportunity there to go top and put pressure on Ebbsfleet.
I remember you mentioned me earlier on in the season, can't remember what game it is off the top of my head, but conceding straight after you score is one of the things that you don't want to see.
Yeah, as I said, we lack discipline tonight. It's a real problem missing. We're missing Joe Ashnembrant and we're missing Joe Osler. Joe pulled out an hour or two before the game. With this infection. We had 3 other players who couldn't and wouldn't be picked tonight because of the same cold and flu. Left us with 14 players tonight, but those 14 were more than good enough to win us that game. Obviously Wright has now come off with a knee after 10 minutes. So it's just been a bad night. Too many injuries, too many players below par, in my opinion. Yes, we created loads of chances, but that's when you're 2-0, 2 goals behind, and you are going to throw the kitchen sink at it. What it does do is it allows the opposition to to try and hit you on the counter. So it was a game with not much structure in its second half. Again, we had to keep going forward. We had so many chances to score, we couldn't. But the criminal one is you get back at 2-1 with 25 minutes to go. It's about 21 plus the injury would have been 25, 26. And then you go and hand it straight back on the plate to him. So, yeah, just disappointed.
And 8 goals conceded in 2 home games, obviously not a stat that you want to hear, but is it going to be a focus on now making a fortress here again and trying to see the form that we saw even at the end of last season and beginning of this season too?
Yeah, I think if you're missing both your centre-halves, that's a big reason, behind, especially the home. At home, we do tend to drive forward. Both fullbacks are going at times. We've asked the midfielders, certainly one or if not 2 of them, to be more disciplined. And at home, that doesn't always seem to happen. They always want to be on the front foot. You can see from the amount of goals we scored this year. So the last 2 games, we've created more chances than the opposition and lost 5s and 3s. So yeah, it's pretty clear that we need to be more disciplined at home. Because away from home, we've been unbelievable, 7 wins and 3 draws. But I think our mantra at home is always to try and be on the front foot, to try and entertain, to try and score as many goals as we can. And up to now, listen, we've got 46 points from 22 games, so we can't be too disappointed. During a season, there's many disappointments, but we haven't had that many this year. But losing tonight in the manner we did is a disappointment.
Can you take any positives from today?
Not really. Not when we've lost Danny Wright through injury. We've lost Joe Osler again. You look behind you, Sam Magger we lost from the weekend. He'd have played today with his ankle. Tommy Wright with his knee. It just goes on and on and on. So I've got to be honest, there's no positives to take from tonight. The crowd was bitterly disappointing, but you can't blame them. There's a World Cup semi-final on. You wonder if the league really, is trying to help non-league teams by putting a fixture in on this particular night. It just seems crazy to me. We did ask about moving it to the 21st, but that was refused. At least the 21st, it wouldn't have been -5 here, and it wouldn't have been a World Cup semi-final game. So, yeah, it's hard enough. It's hard enough surviving as a non-league club, but to see, a few hundred people, it's very, very difficult. It's been a difficult night.
Well, it is unfortunately getting colder, and that's if it goes ahead. We've got St Albans on Saturday.
Yeah, need to respond. Like I said, our options are nil in terms of what we've got to bring in. Certainly Ethan Burnett will come back into our thoughts because he's missed the last couple. But yeah, the reality is we've got very little to change. Tonight we finished, as far as I'm aware, with 13 players left at the football club. So, and that won't improve. That won't improve as far as I can see it between now and Saturday. And you know, the players will want to respond. They want to respond and quickly, but you know, I can only think the game must be in doubt. It's -4, -5 right the way through to Saturday morning. Don't believe St Albans have got covers on their pitch, as far as I'm aware. So the chances of it being on, I don't know. It would appear slim to me. And then obviously, we've got to prepare as well for that one, but also Eastbourne now on Boxing Day.
And do you look ahead to that Christmas period? I mean, it's always funny when you've got the double headers and Ebbsfleet and Dartford play too. So perhaps it'll open up a bit at the top of the table.
Yeah, but as I said, every time, we've had a real opportunity to push on, Worthing being one game and now tonight, we could have really put pressure on other teams or on Ebbsfleet specifically. So, it's pretty clear to me that if you're not going to take those opportunities, you're going to be fighting for one of those 6 remaining playoff spots. So that's the disappointment from tonight. Ebbsfleet lost last night. You'd like to think if you took a win tonight, then you could start putting some pressure on. But realistically, we didn't do that, and that hurts me personally.
Thanks, Dos. Cheers.
Cheers.